This is the Female Main Characters podcast where I can't speak. The podcast where book chat meets the girls chat. We are chaotic because we've had so much caffeine.
Yeah. I've got a hangover, so we're doing it from the bed because I just can't function. I wish I was laid down, but...
And I don't have a hangover, but you're making me feel
unwell.
Like literally unwell. Like, I don't feel good. I actually think I'm having a heart attack.
We're dying.
Yeah, it's Sunday and we've just went to a shopping mall and that was a mistake.
Yeah, oh my God. It's like, what? How many weeks is it to Christmas? 4? Like, we've got another month. Yeah,
it's 4 weeks of Christmas.
Because it's the 24th of November today.
No.
But everyone just seemed to be like out shopping. And then they've just opened like a massive JD there and there was like a DJ center of the like shopping mall playing fucking just pure bass.
Yeah, but Topshop made that thing. And when I used to come and see you in that Topshop in Leeds, so Charlotte used to work in the Topshop in Leeds, like literally years ago now.
Yeah.
26, 17, 18.
I think I left in 2018.
Yeah. And I would come, if I were ever in Leeds and would come and see her on a Saturday.
You'd be like shouting at each other, like, hi!
And like, it was like overload, like.
Yeah, no, it was crazy.
Yeah. So I didn't think that was a thing anymore that they did, but apparently JD are bringing it back, the DJ in the shops.
Yeah, they've got too much money. And like, they just, I mean, yeah.
Fair play, whatever you fancy doing, like, but yeah, it was just a bit much. So the way we compensated was sugar and caffeine, and now we're both sort of delirious.
Yeah, like buzzing, but also
dying.
Exhausted, like.
Right. So what have you been doing this week? What have you been reading?
So I finished The Cruel.
You started and finished in a week.
Yes, yeah. I started this. It's only a very small book. I can't remember how many pages. I want to say like 600, which is not a lot.
Are all fantasy novels way longer than because since I picked up
big?
600 pages. I feel like most books I read are like 300 to 400 maybe.
Yeah, I mean, Cruel Prince, I don't know what to think. Like, I don't have an opinion yet. I do feel like not a lot happened in the first book, but I have a lot of issues with it, which will definitely... Not a lot happened, but all of it was problematic.
In 600 pages, not a lot happened.
No, literally. Like, I mean, I guess it's the first book of the series, and there's a few more books. It's like a typical enemies. Well, in the first book, there is no like real romance. I want to say enemies to lovers because I can see where it's going, but
there's no romance. But the whole book was romance, really.
No.
So what was it actually about?
It's literally about 2 human twins. Well, it's one human twin. She's the main character, Jude. Oh my God, like honestly, to explain it to you is just wild. Like, you're gonna have a mental breakdown.
And are people reading this? Is this like one that you've seen people?
This is like a classic TikTok one. So I saw it on TikTok.
Classic TikTok. Those words do not go together.
I saw it on TikTok and obviously it was like highly recommended. And then I think I just wanted to have something that was like a series of like to get into. I'm struggling with Mistborn. It's back on the shelf. Like, it's not even...
It's literally on the shelf. We're both looking at it. Like,
I do think I will enjoy it. I don't know. I wanted something like different.
Maybe it's your Christmas break, but
yeah, I think like in that time I'll be able to get through that, and then I'll have a better idea of whether I want to continue the whole Cosmere.
Yeah, it's too many books for me. That I'm just really struggling with fantasy books at the minute. I actually
been trying to read Airfire this week.
I feel like something's wrong with me that I can't get through Airfire at all because everyone is so obsessed with these Sarah J Maas books and they're like, oh, Through the Glass World's incredible. I'm obviously going to finish it and read it, but I'm literally like,
maybe it is just fantasy that it's just not your bag. Like,
oh no, I do like the fantasy elements of the book. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Do you think that book, because obviously it skips between a lot of different people, like
Yeah,
the
I
exact
genuinely
same thing
think
that you didn't enjoy about A Court Mr. Fury? Like,
No,
which one?
A Court of Frost and Starlight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's from so many different perspectives, and I do remember when I was reading Air of Fire, and then all of a sudden it's from, oh my god, her name.
More.
Is that her name?
Whose name?
In Air of Fire? No, Manon.
Oh,
Rich.
sorry, I'm thinking of the wrong book.
Yeah.
I haven't even got to her reading it yet. Oh no, I did. I've got one chapter of hers.
And you're just kind of like, where am I? Like, what?
I think it's a series thing. Like, I've been watching some Jenny Claffey videos this week on who's another podcaster, and she's been like ranking the Irish like author books that she read over the last week, and I was like, oh, I just want to put down every Sarah J. Maas book that I've currently got open and just read something like different.
Yeah.
I think it's a series thing. I genuinely think it's a series thing. So I'm going to have to like intersperse these series with other novels, I think, to be able to get through them. But I think our next video is probably going to be some Throne of Glass recaps, so we can get into that a bit more then. But
yeah, I think though it will be interesting. Like, I love Throne of Glass. Like, I don't have anything bad to say about it.
I'd love you to have to read it now, though, that you've had that distance between ACOTAR.
Do you think?
And at a normal pace, honestly, I really genuinely would like, if you weren't in the space that you were in when you read those two series a couple of months ago. Is that how long ago it was? Yeah. Because you were in a totally different headspace then, and I just wonder if when you're ready to like, you connect to a book differently, don't you? When you depending on what time of what you're going through in life, and affects how you read it and what you take away from it. And I just think if you read that now, I think you'd feel differently.
I don't know that I would. I feel like you're struggling with it because you are fine, like you're mentally well. And I wasn't, and I'm still not. So no,
you're
I
mentally well. Thank you.
A nice thing to say.
I think I'm like really busy as well.
Yeah, like yeah.
I've been out so much over the past couple of weeks.
And the last thing you want to do after you've been like out socializing is like put yourself in another world. Well, I'm that's like hectic.
Yeah, and because I'm like speaking to so many people, and then I pick up a book and it's got 45 billion characters. I'm like, I don't remember my husband's name. Never mind what's happening in this novel. He's just looking at me like, who's this man?
That's funny.
So yeah, it's just been a struggle.
I feel like we had this conversation like last week as well, that you were just
in the same place.
I mean, yeah, I think you reading like a shorter like novel might like be your bag, right?
I think so. It's like when you said 600 pages about that book, I actually wanted to vomit. Don't make me do it.
I don't want to. Yeah, you take Cruel Prince, so I have to say, I don't think you would like get past the first.
But you know what's really interesting, right? I've seen quite a few people talking about how much they hate the Powerless books. Like if you go through TikTok, people have like the TikTok famous books have like a hierarchy to them. I think people who think that they're like some are better than others, which is a load of shit. We've touched on this before. I don't really care how you write a book. I don't really care about your style, because if you're telling me a story and you're telling me it in a way that involves me, and I'm falling into it, it doesn't matter to me if the writing's not all there or not what I would consider to be all there.
Yeah.
So I don't really care about that stuff, but TikTok books do have people thinking that some are better than others. And I think Powerless always gets put in the camp of, oh, what the fuck is this?
Like the writing.
Yeah, the writing. Probably like the storyline, I think people have like a problem with as well. I fucking ate that shit up Like I listened to the audiobooks of them, Powerless and Reckless, and I think they were just perfect. Like big up Lauren Roberts, like she's 22. She wrote that when she was 19.
I do feel like some people on TikTok, like they refuse to like things a lot of the time. I think people can be quite stubborn and like I think like I see a lot of people like talking about ACOTAR, especially people that are like interested in fantasy books, and they're like, no, like they're fucking shit and like blah blah. And like I don't think they're necessarily like genius. Like I don't think they're bad. I just think if it's not for you, you can't sit there and be like, oh, it's shit. Like it's not my.
Yeah, I guess like so people that call ACOTAR shit is normally men, though, isn't it? Right?
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm thinking of men.
Whereas like even in the genre of like romantasy, let's say, in that genre, people have like a. How many times have I said like today? I need to just. I literally am just all over the place. In the romantasy genre, I think there's a hierarchy to how people view the books, and I don't necessarily agree with it because sometimes the ones that people think are really shit are the ones that I'm like, love that, would read again, would recommend because I just fell into it so easily. So yeah, I don't know if it is that. But then if I think about the Powerless and Reckless books, there's like, I mean, maximum like 10 characters, and it focuses on 2. So maybe it is a character thing for me. How many people you've got and what you're actually trying to.
Like you can't connect to like.
It's just too many.
People in the same way because they're awesome.
And then I think they all blur into one another. And I think that's definitely happening for me in Heir of Fire. Like
I do worry the way that the story goes, you're just gonna get less and less. If that is how you feel, I don't know that the next few books, because I personally think Heir of Fire was my favourite and then Kingdom of Ash. But Kingdom of Ash is almost worse. Like but there's a lot happens.
It's whenever everyone's like on the same page about stuff. Like we're best friends and we're very rarely like, well, I guess we have a lot in like common, but like there's a lot that we would disagree on as well. And in those kind of books, I just think everyone's like so on board with everything and so on the same page. Like, yeah, we'll attack stuff this way, and I'm like everyone just wants the same common goals and stuff, and that kind of bothers me. Because in real life, it's never like that. The only person that really isn't that bothered about the stuff in Heir of Fire is the only like human character who everyone hates, apart from me.
I think if that is like an issue, I think you'll be surprised, like especially with Kingdom of Ash, when they are like discussing things, there is a lot of like arguments.
Difference of opinion.
I think when you read a book that is about like a throne, essentially, there's always like people wanting to do things different ways, and there's always these like standards of like, usually like they're like in Throne of Glass, like there is like some nobility who like refuse to accept a queen, and there's all this kind of like. So yeah, we'll see. Anyway, like if you do,
they're all about thrones.
Yeah. But
everything we've been reading is like about
like a fight for a throne or like royalty and like high.
That's weird when we think about it.
I think that's just like a fantasy thing. I can't think of a single. It's always about power. Like even like Lord of the Rings, like it's about.
How strange. Maybe I'm just sick and tired of that.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair enough. I feel like any like contest of power as well always comes with issues of like the patriarchy and men.
Issues of men.
Yeah, just men.
Just issues of men.
So yeah, that's exhausting. Like I don't.
Issues of men. Exhausting.
I ain't got time for that.
No. Generally, I don't have time for that, and genuinely, I don't have time for it.
So yeah, I think if you keep going with that, we'll definitely do a video on it. But I don't think you should stress yourself out and like force yourself to read
it. Oh no, I'm not forcing myself to read it. I just haven't had a lot of time, so it's been really hard to pick up a book where you kind of need to read like it quickly to keep up with what is going on in the pace. So
you've kind of got to read like big chunks.
Yeah.
And to do that, you need to be engaged.
Yeah.
And if you're not, then it's...
And you need free time.
Yeah.
I've not had time for any of my, like, I have so many hobbies and I've not had time for any of them recently.
Yeah. I do feel like, though, this time of year, like, I come home from work and I don't know what I do. And then it's like 8 p.m.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what? Well, time for bed.
I guess I'll go to bed then. Guess I'll get a bath and go to bed.
Yeah, like what? Like this week, I've not done any. I've been climbing once. And it's like you go do one thing and then you're home and it's like, right, time for bed. Like,
it's literally awful.
And I don't know why. Like, I finish work at 4 p.m, which is relatively early in comparison to a lot of people. I just don't feel like I have time to do anything. And when it's dark outside, I don't want to do anything. And maybe that's why this week I have got through a book and started.
You've been listening to it at work though, right?
Not Cruel Prince. I started, oh my God, I've forgotten what it's called. It's a vampire book.
When the Moon Hatched.
No. I started another book on... Oh my God.
Quicksilver.
No, it isn't Quicksilver.
Fucking hell.
Oh my God, I can't think what it's called. I'm going to insert that here. But I started a book that is about a human girl who is adopted by a vampire. And he's like trained her up and they're fighting. You're all going to be screaming at me if you're into like fantasy books because it's everywhere at the minute. And I actually really enjoy it. Like, I think it's like a really interesting world. I've never...
A vampire's coming back.
I've seen a lot. Like, my mum just gave me
is about a vampire, right?
Oh, is it? I don't know. I've not actually looked.
Oh, well, I don't know either, so don't take that as Bible.
Yeah. I don't know. The only other vampire book I've ever read was obviously Twilight, which is just not this
the OJ
bag. Like, these are like winged creatures. Which, yeah, you're just not going to enjoy. I think I like a tournament. I like something that's got like a challenge in it. Yeah. But I think it's because I would love to be like a fighter. I want the sword.
Charlotte, what?
No, we'll go the sword.
I think you are the last person I would give a sword to. She's got weak ankles. She can't even like walk around the street without falling over. If I'm fighting a war, like, I'm not giving you a sword. You can sit and look at the maps and you've got a lot of training to go through to get a sword ready.
All of my dreams of becoming a knight. Maybe that's why I like enjoy it so much though, because it's so different to my reality. Like, I'm gonna get a sword and I'm gonna prove you wrong. You just catch me in a week.
I'll catch you in A&E in a week because that's where you'll be. You like slice something off by accident.
Literally the clumsiest part.
You actually can't walk. Like, I don't know why you think you carry a sword. Do you know how heavy a sword would be?
We need to go to the Royal Armouries and ask them, can I hold a sword, please?
I don't think they're going to freaking let you hold swords there.
I'm sure they do. I feel like I went as a child and like they let you dress up.
They're giving kids swords in the Royal Armouries.
Probably not.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask them.
Swords are heavy.
Right. Push my fucking dreams. Jesus Christ. You're supposed to be
You're a strategist, not a fighter. I don't know what I'd be in a war. Dead. Actually, I do know what I'd be. I'd just be dead.
It's not for me.
But again, it just depends what time of the month you get me on. Sometimes I'd be like, yeah, fucking give me that sword now. And I'd kill like 20 people. And sometimes I'd be like, too soft for it all. I don't want to kill a man.
I'm a sweet angel.
Okay. Anyway, so this week we're talking about tropes in novels, I guess.
Yeah.
Mostly romantic, some in romance, some in fantasy, and what we like and what we don't like. So I think we should just go through the list of popular romance tropes and discuss, because these are hilarious. So friends to lovers is number one. This is just how I want every like lover in my life to ever. I mean, I'm married, not that I want any more lovers, but like
my next husband.
Yeah, I don't remember my husband's name. I don't watch my next husband.
Kurt watching this right now, like
Kurt doesn't watch these. There's no danger of that at all.
He's diving first. we the last episode that we filmed was at Maria's house, and Kurt literally barricaded his door upstairs. Probably was wearing headphones so that he couldn't physically listen to us.
No.
But yeah, I think friends to lovers is just, that is how all like relationships should be. Like
that's a healthy relationship, right?
Yeah. I can't think of a single example of that though, but maybe that's just because I haven't read much. I feel like that's a very much like standard romance book. Like
it's kind of like a boring novel though, right?
Yeah.
Like
there's no build up or like it's just like, oh, I really like you.
Yeah.
Let's be together.
The only one I can think of is Ron and Hermione.
Yes. But even then, like there was obviously a little bit of drama, like with like jealousy and like
which is good, which I think is okay. That's probably where the like tension comes from in that genre, then, isn't it? Because you're not saying it,
and like that miscommunication, which is, by the way, one of my most like frustrating things. Like when we watched, was it in COVID? We watched Normal People together. Like we like synced them up,
talk to each other.
Yeah, like I remember we sat there and we were just like, this could all be over in one conversation. Like just tell each other like what is going on, and oh my god, it makes me want to explode because I'm such a communicator. Like when people shut me out, I literally feel like I'm gonna explode. Like I'm just like, no, like we have to talk about this. We have to. Like I like feel like I'm gonna explode, which is why I'm attracted to avoidant. And they always lock me out, and I don't say. Anxious.
But no, I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting healthy communication.
No, not at all. No.
But like friends to lovers, definitely like the tension is always brought in by some kind of miscommunication, or the one of them has a partner. Yeah, it's kind of awful, actually, really, because then they're just like a little pawn in that game.
Yeah, it's always some outside thing where it's like, oh, I really like you, but I'm gonna move away for this job, and like, how are we gonna make it work, and blah blah blah. And I'm just like, if that was me,
just make it work.
I'd be going with you.
Yeah, just
I'd drop everything.
Yeah, just make it work, folks. Right, the second one on the list. So friends to lovers. I don't think we really. I don't love it.
I don't hate it either. Yeah. Like,
I just can't think of any good examples of what I've read that's friends to lovers. Honestly,
no, I can't. Off the top of my head, I'm looking over there, and things spring into mind.
Right. Anyway, the next one is forced proximity. I love this trope. I think this is very I think a lot of people love this. This is very like a Court of Mist and Fury, I think, where she's like kind of being forced into spending time with Race.
Yes, yeah. Like we're in this like deal.
Yeah.
And we have to.
Yeah, that's forced proximity, right? Or like I guess small town is kind of forced proximity if they're like forced into something together.
Yeah, like when I read Book Lovers, and like it's like that fate of like they like end up in the same place, and they keep running into each other and keep like they can't like escape. Yeah. I do like that. I like that like fate aspect of it. So it's like, why do we keep running into each other like this?
It's so unrealistic as well, because if you wanted to run into someone, you're literally never going to run into them in real life. Like, it's so rom-com coded. Like you don't bump into people. Like it just doesn't happen.
I do feel like the life, like real life, like the city that we live in, I could wander around Leeds and not see anyone that I know. Like
I'm just so unobservant that I literally walk past like family members in the street. Like
also if I
like running after me like Maria. I'm like, oh god, sorry. Like,
if I don't have my glasses on, I can't see your face.
I'm legally blind.
There's been a lot of times, like there was a time recently where I was in like the local Morrison's, and I'm like looking at this person, and I was like, oh, that looks like Charlie, my friend. And I just didn't think. And then he's like staring at me, and I was like, oh my god, it is. Like that is who it is. I just like their face just is a blur.
Oh no.
But yeah, I like that.
I just can't see his face.
Can't see anyone. I'm land.
Oh, hilarious. Yeah, I like forced proximity. I guess there's one that isn't on this list, but makes me think of, when I think of forced proximity, is the only one bed trope.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh,
because stay in this inn, but we've only got one room and it's a double bed.
Yeah, I mean, double points if it's single bed. I don't think anyone's done that. But yeah, the one bed trope is massive in romance and romance too.
Yeah. You see a lot of like memes about that where it's like when we get into the part where there's only one room left in the inn, and that's when you know shit's about to go down.
Yeah, it's like 4 a.m. and I've got to the part where there's only one bed and you're like, woo! It's funny. I don't mind that as a trope. That doesn't bother me. It's not a bad one.
Yeah. I don't feel like, obviously we've not got through the full list. I don't really feel like there is a trope that I like hate, like where I'm like, I don't want to read that because of this.
So this one I hear, accidental pregnancy / secret baby / suddenly parents.
That's my worst nightmare. But I don't think I've ever
You've not read any of those, 100%. Yeah. But that's a whole genre of books that people really like to read.
That's terrifying to me. Like, that's a horror. Like, that is the full horror genre. I'm actually having a panic attack. No, I'm not.
No, I completely agree. Like, I think that is, if it said accident, if it was like, you know, when they advertise books as tropes, if it says that, I'm absolutely not picking it up.
Yeah, I wouldn't, because I would be like, what? I guess Twilight is kind of like accidental pregnancy, right?
Maybe that's why I've struggled so much for like Frost and Starlight, because they're talking about babies all the time.
Yeah, but we have an issue with that. Like,
we have an issue with babies. Not true at all. Love all my nieces and nephews.
No, like was it the last episode we were talking about the like happily ever after, kind of like the natural way of a relationship is like, oh, have a child, and like I think that's just us as people. Like, I don't necessarily think you have to have a child for your relationship to have like bloomed or like become full circle. I just don't.
Yeah, completely agree. I'm just not a fan. I just think it's just such a weird trope. I can't remember what book it was that I read it in now. It was absolutely something I hated though, and I was like, what am I reading? It might have been like one of those Christmas novels that you pick up that is like
pregnant at Christmas.
Whoop, whoop. What a dream.
The greatest gift of all, a baby. I was literally like, no.
So funny. Yeah, I genuinely don't think it's in any of the things we've read together. So, yeah. Okay, the next one on the list is second chance romance. I need you to like zoom in on your face when I said that, because it was so funny.
I'm triggered.
Just instantly thinking about giving anyone a second chance, and you were just like, it was like Inside Out, you know, that bit where she bumps into the little boy and his head is like spinning.
It just zooms into my brain and there's just like a little devil sitting there like
yeah,
that is like a difficult one for me. So rarely ever in real life does a second chance work out, and maybe I'm just a negative human being right now.
No, I think it really depends on why you probably broke up in the first place.
Yeah, I like it when it's like it just wasn't working out, like almost like we were too young, we needed to focus on ourselves, and then they try again.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
But I think as far as like reasons go, that is probably one of the main ones in second chance romance, I would say. Definitely a lot of the Christina Lauren books that I've read, which are romance novels. I don't even think we've talked about any of those, because you won't have read. So me and our friend Sarah, who's in the book club with us, me and Sarah read a lot of Christina Lauren. I don't know if you'd like it, to be fair.
Is it just like pure romance?
Yeah, but it's really good. It's really good romance.
I definitely need to. Like, I've read one romance book since we've kind of like.
Yeah, it's true. And it was
I've
for
got
lovers.
loads there that I've learned, so I definitely need to like get through. I feel like I could just read one in a weekend.
Christina Lauren is two people as well. So it's two best friends, Christina and Lauren.
So this is something that I've seen recently. How does that work?
So they said, so what me and Sarah watched a video on this actually. Was it me and Sarah watched the video? It doesn't matter, irrelevant information. We watched a video on how they do it and they like plan out kind of the story they want to tell. Then they plot out what's going to happen in each chapter and they take half each. And then they write the chapters, come back together and then make sure that it's cohesive. That's insane. I think that's talent though, that.
I was just going to say, like, that sounds like fun in a way because it's like solving a problem.
Like a puzzle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like piecing it together and making changes so it sounds like it's. I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, so one of their most famous ones, Love and Other Words, I think it's called, is like a young love and then she goes back later in life. So that's like second chance romance.
Yeah.
And then I guess the other Emily Henry does second chance romance in Happy Place, where they've been together for like years and years, but they've kind of recently split up because they've not been like on the same page about stuff. So like nothing bad has happened as far as I can remember. And then they all like go on a trip and end up back together. So that's like second chance romance.
Yeah, I think I like enjoy that when it's like in a film, so I feel like I would enjoy it as a book. I do get frustrated sometimes when it is like, you know, when there's two people and it's almost like they're just not on the same.
Just comes back to miscommunication again, doesn't it?
It's just that
speak
thing,
to each other.
Yeah, where you just click into place and just be like on the same page, and it's just so hard to watch.
I think this is why Normal People is like so polarizing for us, because at the end it isn't like a happy, like, did they even end up together? And it was kind of second chance in a way, I guess, because like they go through like 4 or 5 years over that time period, don't know, where they're kind of on again, off again, second chance, third chance.
Yeah.
Is anyone actually? I can't remember what happens in Normal People.
I can't remember the end. That's literally why I just zoned out then, because I was just trying to. I do remember the conversation that they have when it's.
That noise.
I was literally going insane. I thought that was inside my head.
It kind of sounds like
a guitar. Like, why does it sound like the apocalypse?
It sounds like doomsday is coming. It's like dum dum dum. It's a guitar. It's an electric guitar. Are you attached to someone's house here?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
Below us.
I don't think anyone else on the podcast will hear it, but
every time we record, there is something like.
Has that never happened before?
I've never heard anyone play guitar.
Right. Okay. Next trope. This one's funny. Best friend's brother or sister.
Oh my god, we were actually talking about this last night. Like I went to like a girls' night last night. And we were doing like Never Have I Ever. And one of the girls was like, have you ever slept with like one of your friends, like brothers or sisters? And I was just like, what? Do people do that?
Yeah, I think that is so weird.
Yeah, I don't like that.
No, I don't. I mean, like, especially if it's like one of your good friends and then like you've just embroiled yourself in something weirdly.
I just don't like, that's wrong. Like, don't do that.
I think of like my brother and sister's friends as like family-ish rather than what's the word I'm looking for? It would be like incestuous rather than
like it's completely.
It just feels wrong to me.
Yeah, like all of my brother's friends, I think of them as like brothers.
Yeah. It like, just you see them in like not as like romantic love interest.
Yeah, I'd call the police if any.
It does just seem really weird though. But like, yeah, that's a massive trope. It happens loads in films as well, that doesn't it? I feel like it's like a film and TV show thing, that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like an example.
Oh, right. Next one. This is one of the biggest ones. Love triangles.
Oh, love. So, yeah, I love love triangles.
They're never really love triangles though, are they? Do you see all this discourse whenever so when Challenges, the movie came out this year, people are like, that's a love triangle because all three of them are swinging all the ways.
You would consider
that's apparently what a love triangle should be.
I can't think of any other example of that though, other than Challenges.
Yeah. Whereas really Love Triangle is just one person at the centre and those two lines at the bottom don't meet, do they?
Yeah.
Usually.
Like if you watch any K-drama, which obviously I always talk about, but it's always a girl with two men, so there's like a lead and a second lead. And it's just every single K-drama has it.
So that's the main K-drama trope?
Yes.
Is it?
Obviously that, and then I think we talked about this in a previous episode where it's like rich man rescues.
Oh, yeah. You need to give me a list of K-dramas to watch so I can see some of these.
They're like addictive. Like I genuinely think like they've like cracked some code that like it's just directly to my brain, because usually I would not watch romance, and I just like it was a while ago now. I just can't stop watching K-dramas, and I think it's the way that they present love, and they always use these really cringe like effects. Like it's like when they first
like a
kiss.
Hallmark movie.
Yeah, like when they first kiss and like the camera like slows down, and then there's like they like use this effect sometimes where all the lights around them turn into like love hearts and stuff, and I'm just like,
yes. What? I did not know they were made like that.
I'll have to.
I've definitely got to watch some of those. I love a love triangle. I think it's my favourite trope.
Yeah, I think I do.
And I think it's just been ingrained into me from every single piece of media consumed throughout my like formative years of like teenager into adulthood. Yeah. I know I talk about Vampire Diaries all the time, but the Vampire Diaries, Twilight, it is the trope, I think.
Yeah, like it's hard to think of one film where it's not a thing, where at some point there is someone else who like comes in.
Hunger
and
Games.
Like,
I love a love triangle.
Yeah, I think I like that, and I do feel like as a woman, it's nice to like picture yourself like being wanted by multiple men.
Love that. Yeah, maybe that is why it's like such a big thing, like because the female main character is being pursued by more than one person. And she's always so fucking dull.
Yeah,
she's always like
and like oblivious to like these two men. Like,
yeah, would never really happen, would it?
No, it's not real. But that's like anything is like what's so interesting.
I also like that it causes like its own fandoms. Like I am obsessed at the minute with what's the guy that plays Jacob in Twilight?
Taylor Lautner.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with Taylor Lautner's social medias.
Do you know what my favourite thing about him is? That he married someone called Taylor, and they're both called Taylor Lautner. Like that's fucking brilliant.
It's funny. Like everyone's doing that TikTok at the minute where they film something and then like accidentally turn the camera, and his one of being like, oh, Bella should have ended up with Jacob and not Edward, and then it turns the camera and it's him. I just I love that it causes like two sides of like the division and stuff. I just think it's something for everyone to like latch on to and get really interested in a story.
Yeah, I think as like a reader or even a watcher, it's that will they, won't they? Like who is she going to end up with in the end? Or like,
yeah, love it.
Who's endgame? Like it is just a thing.
And like to this day, I am Team Jacob.
No, literally, I was literally just going to say, like, for me, in a lot of the K-dramas I watch, I am always rooting for the, like, underdog. Like, the one who I know that they're not going to end up with. Like, you know from the beginning who is the person. So, one of my favourite K-dramas is called Nevertheless. And it's...
I'll add that to my list then.
Yeah, it just, like...
Is it a TV show or a film?
A show.
Just lock myself into like multiple episodes or something.
And there are always quite a few episodes, but that, and then there's another one called Love Alarm, where I think there's like 3 series, and basically each series like explores a different relationship. The main thing that gripes me about it is that there's always one guy who's just like a complete arsehole, and that is the person that like she almost always ends up with, and it's interesting in a way because you see him like grow as a person. Like it usually starts out where he's just a fucking rich.
That's another trope.
Asshole. Yeah. Like K-dramas are literally just like all the tropes, like just stuck into one. But it's like addictive to watch because you sit there and you're just like, oh my god, what is going to happen? Like,
okay, the next trope, forbidden love. I kind of like this.
Oh, what you're gonna?
Well,
have
like
to...
so like Edward's a forbidden love, right? So like he's like he doesn't want to be with her because.
Why was I immediately thinking of like incest? Like,
oh,
I was like, you like forbidden love? Like what?
Usually involves two people who are madly in love but forced apart, whether families, culture, geographical distance, or other factors. Yeah. Oh, we've talked about Romeo and Juliet for the last 4 episodes.
We should do like one specific video.
I'm so obsessed with Romeo. Did you do it in school? Was it the one that you did?
I don't think for A level. I think we did it for like GCSE.
It is GCSE, right? It's like the first or second year GCSE. We did it as well as our one. I think the other class got Midsummer's Night's Dream, and I was always like, well, I was always so glad we got Romeo and Juliet because we got to watch
But don't they have similar themes?
I mean, well, no, because Romeo and Juliet is a tragedy, and Midsummer Night's Dream is a. I don't know what Midsummer Night's Dream would class as, but he's like, it's not one of Shakespeare's tragedies, is it?
No. Yeah, I never did Midsummer's Night's Dream, so I'm not.
I was in the play, so I should really know what it is.
Oh, really?
It's like fairies and shit.
Yeah. That's why
It's like, is it a comedy? Maybe it's a comedy. Maybe it's one of his comedies.
I do feel like there's. I think I've got it. We'll have to.
But yeah, I'm so unbelievably obsessed with Romeo and Juliet. It's unhealthy how obsessed I am with Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
And I think like so much of the fantasy that we read is so rooted in it as well, because one of the main themes of Romeo and Juliet is like the stars and fate and things being written in the stars, like all that kind of really romantic imagery is some of the stuff that I love the most in the fantasy books we read. So
yeah, like that fairy tale kind of aspect of
yeah,
that's nice. Okay, we need to do like a full breakdown of that.
I mean, some of these tropes are just like holiday romance. We've been talking about that today because we went into the works to see if they had any of the Christmas books out yet.
Yeah, we had a little nosy on some of them, and I just think I'd die of cringe.
You would. I'm going to have to give you that one that I read last year. I'm not even going to name it on here because I'm not going to recommend to a wider audience, and I don't want to shit on anyone, but I need you to read it so that we can talk about it closer to Christmas. This is the last trope because it's on this list that Google has brought back and it's killing me. Amnesia.
I'm sorry.
Is that a trope?
I watched a film recently that was kind of like, what was that called?
21 popular romance tropes, amnesia. For this trope, was it the Sandra Bullock movie?
I don't know.
Was it a 90s film?
No, it was quite new.
For this trope, one character gets amnesia and the other was already in love.
Oh my god! Like
Channing Tatum
and
Rachel McAdams.
Yeah, what is that film called?
The Vi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I actually do like that movie.
Yeah,
that was a true story as well.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like that. And then what is it's like an Adam Sandler Drew Barrymore one?
50 First Dates.
Is that
amnesia? Yeah, that is literally amnesia, isn't it? Like she wakes up every day and can't remember anything.
Yeah.
I find that film beyond creepy. I think that film is so weird. Has anyone watched it recently? Because I watched it quite recently.
Is he in love with her before? Or?
No. He meets her and then they have like a great first date. Like first day, and then he learns that she's got this. She wakes up every day and can't remember who she is.
Yeah, that is a little bit weird because it's kind of like you're kind of taking advantage, you know?
Yeah, it felt really odd to me. It didn't feel romantic or fun or cute. So, yeah. Anyway, let's leave it at that.
Yeah.
Leave you with them nice thoughts of
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's any that I really hate or like.
I'd give anything a go.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
the pregnancy one is definitely up there on the list of things I'm probably not going to pick up.
Yeah, like if it was advertised as that, I wouldn't read it. I'd maybe cringe a little bit while it was, if it wasn't. But
and I think if that is the one that we've said that we don't like the most, if it's like accidental pregnancy or suddenly parents, when that happens in a romantic setting, it's kind of different than when it's happening in like those other romance books, because there's more like stakes and tension and stuff. And when it happens in those romance books, they're always like cowboy.
Yeah, it's all also a little bit too real life, because I think it's hard to like when you read, you put yourself into everyone's shoes, and that is like that would terrify me. Like
horror.
Pregnancy scares are just they're not fun unless you're, I don't know.
Have you seen those TikToks that it's like, that you're old now whenever like your friend texts you that they think they might be pregnant and like they're not panicking and you're like, oh, I'll come and take a pregnancy test with you, and they're like, well, no, I'm going to do it with my husband, because we're like, oh, so we're there now.
We're at that point.
It's so funny. Anyway, so this week's dilemma. I'm just going to read what I wrote here, even though. So, because Charlotte's been reading The Cruel Prince this week, she's had some thoughts about this.
Many thoughts in general.
So, I don't really know if I've got this right, but basically, why have I actually wrote this like this? This is fine.
You should have read the text that I sent you with the like.
Oh, okay.
So, I messaged Maria because I couldn't stop thinking about it, because I do feel like this series, like I said before, like it's almost like not a lot happens, but something happens, and then I need to read the next book for it to make sense. But essentially, the plot line is that there are two sisters, twins.
I was going to say, you're better summarize. Like, do you want me to read out this whole paragraph? Because this is insane.
No, I'll.
You summarize.
Yeah, let's summarize. Two sisters, twins, humans, move to the Fae realm. They're kind of being bullied for being human by kind of like noble, like one is a prince. And then one of the members of this group, there's like a few instances where the prince is picking on one of the twins, Jude, who is like the main character.
Is that sister. A girl in the book then?
Yeah.
Jude's a boy's name though, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
I think so as well.
It was hard to like get past that, especially like she's called Jude and then her sister's called Taryn, which is such a nice name, but it sounds quite masculine too. But so most of the like bullying seems to be targeted at Jude. Taryn just is kind of just like observing. And then there is a point
observing her sister getting bullied?
Yeah, like she just kind of stands back and like doesn't want to be involved. Like Jude is very like confrontational, and if someone's picking on her, she's like thinking of ways to get revenge.
Are you gonna give any spoiler warnings, by the way, for this book in this synopsis?
I think we would have to, although it's
okay.
Not,
let's just say it now. If you're going to read The Cruel Prince and you hate spoilers, you might not want to talk about this dilemma.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about this is not even the main plot line, but I guess it's like one of the main, and obviously because it is not solved in this first book, I would think it will carry. It's going to carry on, yeah. And yeah, so essentially, one of the boys in the group, there is a point where you see him catch eyes with Jude, and he kind of like winks at her, and there's like this weird like moment where she's just like, why is he doing that?
I honestly, if someone winked at me, I'd vomit.
Yeah, you do let a lot of stuff go in reading that, don't you think? Yeah. You're just kind of like, no, continue reading.
And that didn't happen.
Yeah, like that would never happen. And so that's like the beginning where he's kind of like showing interest in her. They then go on to like start dating. So he's dating Jude. There is this weird like foreshadowing where Taryn is talking about the fact that she wants to fall in love. She wants to be married. She thinks that she's found the person she wants to marry. And obviously that's like not revealed. Like Jude is like begging her to like know who it was, and she doesn't. It all comes to a head at like a coronation where Locke, who is the like romance interest, is talking to Jude, and he says something along the lines of, I think it was like, yeah, he's like, oh, I think it'll make a good story. I've not actually sent you the. Oh, there. Do you love me enough to give me up? Do you love me enough to weep for me? If someone said that to me, that would trigger me instantly. And I'd be like, what are you even talking about? She kind of like lets it go. And then it comes out that this whole time he's been dating both twins, but he'd promised himself to Taryn, promised to marry her. And that night he proposes to her and like asks their father for like permission to marry her. And then obviously Jude is like mortified, embarrassed. And it's just like insane to me that her sister would even do that. And it brings me
Even
back
your friend, like even if
anyone, like
yeah,
it's
like
just not
a
nice.
loose acquaintance.
And like everyone apparently knows, and he's apparently done it to kind of like to prove something. Like it's some kind of like test. And like
Test
saying
to who? Test of what?
A test to Taryn to prove that she likes him enough to endure like him dating her sister.
Is that why he's a cruel prince?
He's not even the cruel prince. That's what I mean.
Oh.
This is not even the main storyline.
Oh, right, okay. Weird.
And it's just like insane to me. Like I literally would just be like, I never want to speak to any of you again. Like don't ever like
no, like literally death to all. Like I'd be like, I'm done with this narrative. Yeah. You're all tapped.
Yeah. Apparently other people knew as well. Like, and I'm just like, I would be so embarrassed. And she even gets to the point where she like challenges her and sister to like a duel. She like comes down the stairs with a sword and she's like, I challenge you.
Why is everyone swinging swords?
To a duel. You're going to fight your sister with swords over a man? Absolutely not. Like, there is no way.
I'd buy out of this so quickly. I'd literally be like,
yeah, that was the point.
Goodbye. When will I see you again? Oh, never.
And I just feel like in real, like, obviously I know it's not real life. I know that none of these scenarios would ever, well, I would hope they're not. If they have happened to you, I'm so sorry. You need professional help.
Maybe up to the point where, I mean, maybe if your sister has been like getting with someone and you are secretly planning to marry him behind her back, you need therapy.
Yeah, and you've promised this man that you're not going to tell her.
Yeah, that's like you're not well. Like that is not okay.
Yeah, and I do feel like as a twin, like I love that storyline where like twins are like, you know, like two parts of one
more
whole,
connected. Yeah,
and that's why I just feel like it's such a betrayal. Like,
great.
It's one of like the worst things I think could happen in like a romance. Like that is just awful. I almost just didn't want to continue reading because I was just like, what?
So confused.
What is this? Like, why? Like, what? And it's the only reason why I would like to continue reading. Obviously, I like the main storyline too. I think it's really interesting, but I need to know why. Like, I need to sit down with these characters.
Yeah,
I need you to tell me why you've done that.
And then when there's obviously going to be some kind of logical reason to this. Like,
I think there has to be. Like,
well, it's going to be like the chapter 55 thing again, isn't it? Like, I did this because I did this because I've secretly been working on this thing the whole time. Yeah, I just think that if I'd literally love to know if anyone's had a dilemma like this in real life where you're maybe not your sister, because that is insane, right? If your sister is like treating you like that, that's insane.
You hear about mothers kind of like, I feel like I see this on like TikTok all the time.
Where is this going?
Like living with someone's mother and finding out that your mum has slept with like your boyfriend. I've seen like multiple.
What side of TikTok are you on?
The Jeremy Kyle side.
Is that real?
Yeah, I feel like I've seen that like multiple times. I feel like I've seen a girl on TikTok and she's like recounting this exact story, like, oh, my mum slept with my boyfriend. I don't think I would make it through that. Like, I don't think I'm strong enough. Or just thinking about that actually makes me feel more stop.
For Janice.
Janice would never.
No, but no like normal mum would. Like,
yeah,
that is insane. I can't believe that's a real
like thing that happens.
I can't believe that. Like, when you're talking about it in the romanticy setting, I'm kind of like, oh, it's never going to happen to someone.
Yeah, and you have to think like, oh, there's probably some other reason and like something down the
But in
line.
real life, someone's like, mum is just shagging their boyfriend that lives with them.
No, hate it.
Wow. People are so tapped, aren't they? Like, so tapped.
It's just making me think of like imagine characters from books like going on Jeremy Kyle and like what they're like, you know, and they have like the bar across the screen. It's like my sister was engaged to be married to my boyfriend behind my back and she never told me. And it's just Taryn and Jude sat there on the couch.
And like, if his defense is going to be, it's like a test of loyalty. Like, what?
I just baffled. Like, if a man said that to me, I'd be like, you need to be in a mental asylum.
Yeah, I
like,
just honestly, I'd run away from all these people so quickly. I'd have like no friends, no family. I'd start again afresh somewhere. Yeah. I'd be like in a witness protection program. I'd be like, can someone give me a new identity? Like, I need to leave, shed that skin, leave all of that behind.
It's like we were talking earlier about whether we think we could kill someone, and I was like, I think if I was mad enough, I probably
That
could.
is such a leap to take.
No, but if you were in that scenario and you lived in like this fantasy realm, and you wander around with like a dagger and you're almost ready to fight and you're like trained in battle, heads would be rolling.
The theme of today is Charlotte is just dying to kill someone with a sword. Give her a sword, let her, and put your head on the plinth because she is ready.
My mugshot on the news next week. No, we need to not joke about this.
We need to not. Offense. I think we need to leave it there because death to all. Tell me if your mum has ever shagged your boyfriend because I need to know. And
I'm so sorry if that's happened to you.
I'm so sorry, but like, give me like, I need to, was there reasoning? Like, I need to know what people are thinking in these situations. And I'm going to go and watch these TikToks now to see what is going on.
I'm find this girl. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'm sure we'll power next.
Be back with Throwing a Glass probably next week.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.